Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Barakatham, WFI Las Vegas, and we get ready to kick it off for the Shabbat. All right? Let's jump right in. We're going to jump right into it. Luke 14 and verse 23.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges.
Go out into the highways and hedges. That's where we are right now.
And compel them to come in.
And compel the lost sheep of Hamashiach Yahushai to come in. And that's what we out here to do. We out to compel you with the word of the Most High. All right, let's read that one more time, King.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in.
And compel them to come in.
That my house may be filled.
That the Most High's house will be filled with his holy servants. Those that are keeping the commandments. Those that are trying to change their lives and come back to righteousness according to the scriptures. And righteousness is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, let's get Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20. All right? And I hope y'all had a terrible 4th of July yesterday. That thing is of Satan. We were still in slavery in 1776. 4th of July is wicked as hell, as far as I'm concerned. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 20.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse number 20.
Bring it out.
Wisdom cries without. She uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief places of concourse.
Right, so wisdom, this word of the Most High is out here crying out to our people. The Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The word is out here crying out to you to repent and to come back to the Most High. All right, start from the top, King.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse number 21. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
How long will you simple jakes love simplicity? All right, y'all out here last night popping firecrackers. For what? You was in bondage. You was in slavery. You was kissing master's feet. So what is y'all out here serving these wicked so-called holidays for? Need to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right? And to do that, y'all need to come learn these commandments. Where you was at, King?
And the scorners delight in their scorning. And fools hate knowledge.
And you fools hate this knowledge. You hate the knowledge of the Most High. What's knowledge? Let's get Malachi 2 and 7 real quick. We're going to get what that knowledge is. All right? A fool hateth knowledge, just like a fool hateth the Most High. All right? Fool saith in his heart, there is no God. That's Psalms 5 and 5. And you wicked as hell if you think that way. And you're going to be judged. All right? Malachi chapter 2 and 7. Right before the map. Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7 is what we're going to bring out. We're going to get what the knowledge is according to the scriptures. And that's Malachi chapter 2. Malachi chapter 2 and 7. Malachi 2 and 7.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 7. O thou that art named the house of Jacob, is the spirit of the Lord strange?
Hold on. That's Micah, King. Malachi, yeah. There you go. There you go. Malachi 2 and 7. We're going to see what the knowledge is. Bring it out.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge. knowledge.
The priest's lips should keep knowledge. Let's see what it is.
And they should seek the law.
The what?
They should seek the law.
The what?
They should seek the law at his mouth.
Right, so that knowledge that we out here bringing out is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right, go back to where you was at, King. Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1. And I believe we were at 22, something like that. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 23. Bring it out.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you.
Right, so the Most High say he gonna make his word known unto us. What's up, brother? How you doing? All right. What's going on with you? You all right? What's your nationality, bro? Come over here, bro, so we can talk to you. We're all in our spot. Can you come up here, please? So would you be a so-called American black or African American? You would? So what do you know what God calls you in the Bible, brother? No? We're gonna bring it out.
Give me that. First Corinthians 11:22.
1 Corinthians 11:22. We out here, check this out, brother. For the 12 tribes of Israel. Right here it says American black, your biblical name would be Judah. You'd be from the tribe of Judah, the same tribe the Christ is from. All right? You know what Christ looks like in the scriptures?
Get try two.
Yeah, we are the Israelites.
Second Corinthians 11:22. I believe that's it.
2 Corinthians 11:22.
Got it.
All right, bring it out, King.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
Are they Hebrews? So am I.
So am I.
Are they Israelites?
Are they Israelites?
So am I.
So am I. So, brother,
We the Israelites according to the Bible. Let's get Deuteronomy 22 and 15. And we're going to prove how we the Israelites according to the Bible. All right, we're going to bring out the curses that prove who we are according to the scriptures. Now, let me ask you a question, brother. How did our people get up to this side of the world? We weren't always in America, right? Okay, we're going to bring it. So, you don't know about anything about the slave trade, any of that stuff? No? All right. We're going to bring out some of these curses that we went through, all right? And why we in the position that we are now. Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right, so if we don't listen to God, which is the Bible, we hear God through the Bible, bring it out.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
All right, so let me ask you something, brother. Is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. So what the Bible just said, if us, God's people, don't listen to the commandments that he given us, don't kill, don't steal, things of that nature, so on and so forth, if we don't listen, then we're going to have curses put on us, right? So we're going to see what some of these curses are. Finish bringing that out.
And overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Cursed shall we be in the city. So in all cities across America, who's in the ghettos? Who's in the most worn down side of town? Is it us? Primarily. So, all right, so the Israelites are the blacks, Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans, bro. And that's who's in the ghettos. That's it. That's in the low tribe people in these cities, right?
So,
It says, read it one more time for him, King.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
And cursed shall thou be in the field. Who was in the field picking cotton, tobacco, and things of that nature? Who was that? That was us, brother. That was the Israelites. And it says cursed in the field. How you apply that today is in the work fields. All right, we work nonstop, work ourselves to death to receive nothing, just to barely survive. You know, we're check to check. While the people we work for are millionaires and billionaires. So that's how we're cursed in the city today, and cursed in the field today, Salaki. All right, what you got? Yep, read that.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Right, so when we're in slavery, our children were given to other people. When a mother had a child and that child was brought up to a certain age, that master would take that child and give it to somebody else or sell it to somebody else for a price or even for a gift. We were given for gifts, but we never went back to find our people again. We never were able to go back and find our family again. All right, read that one more time.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Right, because we had no power to go get our children back. Our children were gone forever, and this happened in slavery here in this land, and really in the four corners of the earth. Because we've been shipped off to the four corners of the earth. You go anywhere, you're gonna find our people on this planet. All right, you got a question? All right, what else you got, King?
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
right, we had no might to retrieve our kids. 40. Yep.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 47.
Bring it out.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Right, so since we didn't keep those commandments with joyfulness, like the Lord said in verse 15, bring it out.
And with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Right, so therefore we gotta serve our enemies, right? We gotta serve our enemies. So we're gonna show you how we serve our enemies. Read that.
Which the Lord shall send against thee
And the Lord sent them against us.
in hunger,
And hunger. And hunger. If you want something to eat, bro, if you want a burger, and you go to Freddy's, who owns Freddy's? Does our people own Freddy's or do the other nations own Freddy's? Huh? You say you own Freddy's? How so? So you own Freddy's? No, brother. The other nations own Freddy's. The other nations own McDonald's. Right? So we serve the other nations because we got to go to them to eat, brother. We got to go to their grocery stores to eat. We don't own nothing. Right? What do we own as a people, bro? Nothing. Read on.
in their thirst.
And in thirst. If you want something to drink, you got to go to them. You got to go to the other nations. If
Bring
you want
it
some
on.
Dasani, if you want some Aquafina, if you want some Dr. Pepper, you can't go to our people to get that. We got to go to the other nations to get that. That's a curse, brother. That's what this is saying. Read on.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness, meaning where do we get our clothing? We own no textiles to make our clothing. We do none of that. We got to go to the other nations. If we even want to wipe our butt when we use the bathroom, we got to go to another nation to get the tissue. Because we don't own nothing. Right? If you want a driver's license, anything, death certificate, birth certificate, we don't get that from our people. We get that from the other nations. All right? Read on.
And in want of all things.
And then one of all things, like I said, that tissue. Let me start. If we want tissue, if we want anything, you want a vehicle, you want a diploma, or any type of career or anything, we got to go to the other nations because we are up under these people, right?
Keep going.
and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Right. So who had a yoke of iron upon our necks, brother? Look at this picture right there. See that yoke of iron? That's written in the Bible, brother. That's a curse that happened to us. We're gonna read that one more time. Bring that out, King.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And our enemy shall put a yoke of iron upon our neck
Until he have destroyed thee.
until we have been destroyed. Now, as a people, we out here destroyed. We're well-trained Negroes today. So they don't have to have that yoke of iron on our neck because we ain't fighting for nothing. We just bowing down and going the way they tell us to go. Well-trained. We've been destroyed, brother, as a people. And this is talking about the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. What else you got here?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Egypt, what do you know about the Israelites, brother? You know anything about the Israelites? So get Exodus 13 and 3. We're going to show you what that Egypt is talking about. It's talking about bondage and slavery, but we want to prove that with the scriptures.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 13, and verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leaven bread be eaten.
Right. So it's talking, when it says the house of bondage, it's talking about slavery. All right. So the Lord brought us out of slavery. Let's get that again, Deuteronomy 68. Let's take it from the top, just so we can put it together and have a better understanding.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way, there.
Salaki, King. Read that again, Salaki.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt
Into bondage again
with ships.
with ships, brother. How did we get over here? We got over here by cargo slave ships. All right, we didn't catch no planes over here. It wasn't no cruise liners or nothing like that. We came over here in cargo slave ships. All right, read that again. And that's a curse, according to Deuteronomy 28. Bring it from the top here. Salaki.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
The way he told us it was going to happen.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
That happened, and we never seen our homeland again.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Right, and when we got off those ships over here in this country called America, we were sold to our enemies. A slave man and slave woman. And that's when they took our children, and they were given to other people. But finish that out, King.
And there you should be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you.
And no man has come to redeem us yet. No man has come to redeem us yet. So today, believe it or not, brother, we still in slavery. Let me get that in Baruch 3 and 8. We are still in slavery to this day. And if we went into slavery for not keeping the commandments, what should we start doing, brother? Should we start keeping the commandments and obeying God according to the Bible? Or should we keep going the way we're going and continue to be destroyed as a people?
I can't barely hear you, bro. Okay, so you would say don't keep the commandments?
Yeah, change. Yeah, we gotta change, right? What you say? What we doing right now ain't doing that? Get that, Baruch, real quick, and we're gonna bring that out, and I'm gonna show you why we doing what we doing right now. You got it? Yeah.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
Right. So we are yet this day captive to this nation. We are yet this day slaves in this nation.
Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments.
And to be what?
To be subject to payments.
Right. We are still yet this day in our captivity, and we are subject to payments, right? All right. Everything costs. Water costs, air costs, everything costs. All right. Let me get Corinthians 1:21 real quick.
Yeah.
Bruh said, what we doing ain't doing nothing. Oh, it's definitely doing something. It's definitely doing something. 1 Corinthians 1:21.
1 and 21.
Yes, sir.
First Corinthians 1:21.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1 and verse 21.
Read it out.
For after that in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God.
Right, so the world didn't know the wisdom of God, which is his word, these laws, statutes, and commandments.
It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to
And then what?
it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching
So God is pleased by the foolishness of preaching, bring it out,
to save them that believe.
to save them that believe. All right, so those that believe on this word, God's here to save. All right? How you doing, sister? All right, all right. We're bringing out this word. If you got any questions, sisters, we can answer any questions you got. All right. Have a good day, sis. You're an Israelite. Keep the commandments. Read that one more time for me, King.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1 and verse 21. For after that in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe.
Right. So we out here pleasing the Most High with the foolishness of preaching to save God's people that believe. And how you know you believe, brother, is you keep the commandments. All right, let's get that real quick. Quick precept. Sirach 32:24. Any questions you got, feel free to ask them. Feel free to ask them. Sirach chapter 32, verse 24.